the city. My name's Angie. We're on episode 8 now, and we're doing things a little bit different. I feel like I've been very structured and premeditated on what my episode is going to be about or what topics I'm going to touch on, and today is not going to be that. I'm just going to talk. So it came to my attention from some loved ones that I've never actually told my story, which is kind of crazy because I feel like I have, but maybe not to you, to my audience. And I owe you guys that. You deserve to know how I got from point A to B. So that's what today's going to be about. With that being said, let me get my tea together because this is going to be quite a talk. This is yogi tea, one of my favorites. I love their little cute inspirational quotes. It says, "Without gratitude, there is no prosperity." And then the other one says, "Love is the ultimate law of life." Amen to that. So, I got to show off my cup too because I'm just extra. It's my new purple cup that you'll be seeing more of. Cheers. Okay, so on to more serious things. All right, I'm going to paint a picture for you all, and hopefully you can go there and kind of just feel and put yourself in my shoes and almost try to see if it's relatable to your story or a friend or family. All right, so I was diagnosed at 15 years old. It was the summer of 10th grade, and I remember going to walk down the stairs. I was at this was in Philadelphia. As a lot of you know, I am born and raised in Philadelphia, and I moved to LA during COVID, which is where I live now. So anywho, 15 years old, Philadelphia, going to walk down the stairs, and my legs just completely locked. I was at my grandmom's house, or actually at our house, my mother's house, with my 2 sisters, my brother, and my grandmother was watching us. And I remember my siblings having to actually come upstairs and physically pick me up and bring me downstairs and lay me on the couch like a freaking mannequin. And just everyone being so confused as to what was going on. Called my mom, who was on vacation. That's why my grandmom was watching over us. My mom changed her flight. She came back home early from her scheduled trip, and we went to St. Christopher's Hospital for Children. If you are from Philadelphia, you know that's on Erie Ave. It's one of the biggest hospitals besides CHOP that caters to children. And I will say that I believe now, looking back, that is what saved me, being able to go to a hospital catered to children and being around rheumatologists who worked with kids dealing with the type of condition I had. So anyway, we go to the ER, and right away they took me in because I was a child. Some of the other symptoms that began to arise after my joints locking, which is what now I know that's what it was, arthritis, juvenile arthritis is what it was labeled as. I had almost like a butterfly rash. My cheeks were really red. In between finishing up the school year and during the summer, I had lost about 20 to 30 pounds. I was like significantly skinnier. My hair was falling out, and these are things that I didn't really even know were related to the leg situation. I just thought, growing pains. I don't even think I told my mom some of the things I was dealing with. So we're in the ER, and they're running or doing a medical history check and asking all those questions, asking if anyone in my family had any of these symptoms too, which no, this was new to us. We didn't know what was going on. I was in the hospital for about 4 days because I was admitted during a weekday, and due to testing, I wasn't going to get some of my results until Monday. And so that was why they decided to keep me in the hospital. And because my symptoms, my legs were still very sore. They were red. I had rashes now coming all over my body, and they just wanted to get to the bottom of it. So in that time, I was scared. My mom was scared. And I remember her telling my family that I was in the hospital and trying to figure out what was going on. And everyone was just really freaked out, but super worried. This was just foreign to us. You know, I'm 15 years old in the hospital with all these weird symptoms, not knowing what was going on. Because it was the end of the week going into the weekend, I was waiting on some test results. In the midst of that, they started labeling my condition. So it was thought to maybe be AIDS, and then it was thought to be, oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Childhood cancer. It starts with the L. It's literally on the tip of my tongue. Leukemia. There you go. Leukemia. So they thought I had, see guys, I have these brain farts like in real life. Anyway, so they thought I had leukemia, and they didn't necessarily push for me to start medication right away. Thank God for my mom, who was like, let's make sure everything else is, crossed out first or ruled out before, we accept that. And I'm really thankful for that. My mom, I don't even think realized how much she was advocating for me back then. That's pretty crazy to think about now, because advocating is huge. So I get my test results that following Monday, and it was an ANA test, and they saw that my blood count level was super low. And then the rule of thumb with lupus is that if you have, I believe it's 3 to 5 of the general symptoms, then you typically do have lupus. And that was the case with me. I had the hair loss, I had the body rashes, I had the joint lock, I had the weight loss, and I had the butterfly rash as well. And I even was retaining fluid at one point too. So I'm in the hospital for 2 weeks. It was really sad. It was a really sad time in my life. I remember feeling very lonely. I do remember a really good friend of mine. Shout out to Sarika. I hope you see this one day, because you were a gem back then when I was going through what I was going through. You are probably the one person who I could say showed up and showed out for me. You brought me my homework assignments, and you stood up for me in school. So I love you always. I don't mean to get teary, but I went through a lot in high school. Whew. So imagine you're like 15. You just got your freaking period, like a year ago, and you're going through this. I told myself I wasn't going to do this. I came back to school, and I'll never forget how people made me feel. I forgive them because of where I'm at now, but man, there was these 2 kids when I came back to school. They were boys. Now I look back knowing the things that I know, like, probably liked me, but that's just not how you do it. I remember being in like math class and just being super insecure. Oh my God, I didn't even share this part. I'm Puerto Rican, like long hair in our culture, like you the shit. So I always had long hair. Like that was just my thing. My hair always, I hate doing this. My hair always went to my butt. And when I got sick, it thinned out so bad that I remember going to like get a haircut and I came back to school with like a bob almost. And people were like asking me what was going on and why am I so skinny? And then these 2 kids, I'm not even gonna put y'all name out there, but a piece of me was going to, but I'm not gonna do y'all like that, because I know you reap what you did right now. So these 2 kids started a rumor and told everybody I had AIDS. Yeah, 15 being cornered about having AIDS. It was really tough. I'm in 11th grade now when that happened. And pushed through school. It's a really hard year. As I mentioned in my previous episode, I was fortunate to have, teachers who paid attention and who were loving and caring and wanted to make sure that I was healthy in all this and doing healthy things for myself. And my gym teacher told me about the accommodations that the school could offer and to go and talk to someone. And I was very thankful for that, because I was excused from PE. I was able to leave early for doctor appointments. I was able to come into school late. I was able to have like lunch brought to me if I, or bring lunch. I was very fortunate. And then I was turning 16 that summer. And that was a tough year. My cousin Robert, RIP, one of my favorite cousins, no shade to any of y'all watching, but he passed away. And it's weird because he worked in a bar and he died from, I wish I knew off the top of my head what the name of the autoimmune disease was, but he was exposed to smoke, and that's what brought on whatever his condition was. And it was similar to lupus. But the point of that is he passed away, and my birthday was in August, and I had a sweet 16. And it's not, we didn't do the traditional like sweet 15 plus what I was going through. And a lot of my mom's side of the family is a Jehovah's Witness. So I come from a really big family, and like a fourth of my family showed up to my sweet 16. So that was really hard. And it was hard too because I was wearing a wig. Like, I've never worn a wig before. And my cousin took me to a wig store, and I remember like breaking down in the wig store because I'm like, I really gotta wear a freaking wig. It's crazy. But now I want wigs though. I'm not gonna lie. I want a purple wig. But anyways, so yeah, my cousin passed away, and that was really hard on my whole family. It was hard on me. I was really lucky though to have my mom. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for her, because during all this time, my mom came to every appointment. My mom called and made my appointments. But I was forced to grow up really quickly too. Like by 16, I was making my own doctor appointments. And then my mom got really busy, and sometimes my older sister who had graduated would come and pick me up and take me to an appointment. So that was a blessing to know that my siblings were there for me to that extent. Hold on, BRB. Man, and the medication. Up to that point in life, I had only taken like an Advil and ibuprofen. Didn't take multivitamins. Didn't know what any of these drugs were. Didn't even know how to pronounce them. Now I could say them in my freaking sleep. I could spell them and all, but before it was like trying to break down the word. And yeah, man, it's crazy because knowing the stuff that I know now, I wish that I was educated more on some of these medications that I was given at such a young age and how they can affect me later on in life, including not only my organs, but even my mental health, and that wasn't done. But I will say, as I just told a friend earlier, I was talking to one of my loopy friends, and a lot of people go through things during their diagnosis, especially as they're diagnosed older. And I was diagnosed at 15, and I believe in a weird way that my body kind of morphed with the disease. And as I grew and matured, my disease grew and matured, but to the point where my immune system and the lupus work hand in hand. A lot of women, like one of my friends was diagnosed in their 20s, and their story is just totally different from mine. Some people go through years of agony until they actually get an answer, or they get misdiagnosed. And I look back and I'm just so fortunate that my mom was like, nah, let's run the other test, because that's a true story that some people just go with what the doctors say and just follow order. And she's not like that, and I'm not like that. And basically at the age of, I want to say in my 20s is when I actually started telling my doctor, after having the education I had, I'm like, I'm not taking medication no more. I'm on a very minimal dosage. Why am I even on any of this medication? I could take this and that. I started coming with questions, and I fought and advocated for myself. And that's why I'm where I'm at today. Not just telling my doctor what I was going to do, but actually putting in the work in my body and my mental that showed up on test results, that the proof was in the pudding. I'm not just saying that I feel better. My lab results are actually showing that I feel better. So why am I on this? And yeah, so high school was tough. And then I went through a rebellious stage after high school. I actually like just stopped taking my medication. I remember just staying out late and just partying, and that bit me in the butt to where I actually got pneumonia from my immune system being so suppressed, and I ended up in the hospital for like 5 days. And this is something that happened 4 times maybe during my adolescence, just me being a hard ass and not accepting my disease for what it is. And in the long run, it actually hurt me. But you know, they weren't anything that I couldn't fix, you know. And I made sure now that I listen to my body more, and when I feel something's coming, I pay more attention to it. I don't ignore it. I know it's my lupus, and I accept that. But what I will say is that I have lupus, and lupus doesn't have me. I'll never be acceptant of my disease. I'll never be defeated in my disease. I'm always going to be a warrior, never a worrier. Okay? So, yeah, then I got to, I started working a full-time job right from high school because, like, that was the way of life. And it was okay until it wasn't, until it became too stressful. And I wanted to learn more about my disease, and I am a late bloomer going to college, or returning to college. Wow, I'm gonna probably pause that there, and part 2, we'll talk about my transition from high school to college and how lupus affected me, because I think there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that story. I've never shared that either. So, and that a-hole that I told you guys about, he comes back in that story. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in and for, you know, just loving me from afar and making me feel the love from afar. It's been a crazy year so far, but there's a lot of good things coming. I mentioned it before. I have a World Lupus Day event that I'm planning. So I promise on the second part of this, I will have more details about the event. But just so you know, and you can pencil it in on your calendar, it's going to be Saturday, May 10th at a location in downtown Los Angeles. Thank you guys again. Stay blessed. Love you, and be safe out there. Peace out.